All right, so last time on the Blast Show, I hypothesized that he was likely an Esper, given some of the very few information that we got about him from the databook saying that he allegedly can shoot eye lasers. And given that we saw Psychos do that in chapter 127 of the manga, I put two and two together and thought, oh, well, I guess Blast is an Esper because, he can allegedly shoot eye lasers just like Psychos. And given that he's very likely to be an allegory for Superman, he could probably fly too, and that would explain, the Esper stuff and maybe his strength too, possibly. But no, it turns out that I was probably wrong about that, given the developments in the newest chapter of the webcomic. And that's what we're going to be talking about at length in this video, so if you don't want to know what's going to happen, I suggest you check out now. All right, so in chapter 125, we got the huge bombshell that the number one Neo hero, Blue, is in fact the son of Blast. And we actually got to see Blue do some stuff in this chapter, and I think that actually is, for the first time ever, giving us legitimate insight into the abilities of Blast, because, given that Blue is his son, he probably received these abilities hereditarily. Meaning that, Blast has these abilities too. Now, also, let me put it out there that it is possible that Blast is an Esper as well. Like, he's half Esper and half this new race of beings that we're going to be discussing in this video. And I think that would be too overpowered for an individual who I'm hyping up to be already overpowered. Because if he was an Esper and he had these abilities that Blue has, then he just is basically unstoppable, aside from anyone outside of Saitama, I suppose. So I just think that Blast most likely is just this race of people and not necessarily an Esper, but just wanted to put it out there. It is possible that he is as well. So as of right now, I'm just going to call Blue and Blast energy manipulators, or more specifically, internal energy manipulators. And I'm sure they'll get like an official moniker for what they are in the future. You know how like Fubuki and Tatsumaki are considered Espers. I'm sure Blast and Blue will have something like that. But for now, I'll just call them energy manipulators because I don't have a better working title at this point. But let me go into why I think that this is the case for them, because when we actually get to see Blue do some stuff, he starts chasing after Saitama, who's holding a Mai mask. And then we see like lightning or electricity start coming out of Blue as he's moving. Now, if we're going according to, typical battle manga stuff, this usually means that this individual is pretty powerful, and the power is usually coming from some kind of crazy internal energy that they have. Now, I'm just taking a guess here, but I'm assuming that you're agreeing with me here because it's typical and it explains as to why Blast and Blue are able to do the things that they are capable of doing. Now, also, when Genos corners Blue, Blue is just about to take Genos out because he's just like that. And Genos says that I'm detecting a high energy signature from your right forearm. Are you wearing a special weapon? Now, I don't think this is the case. I think this is, kind of just throw us off the trail a little bit. And also, I think it's Genos legitimately being confused as to what's going on with Blue here, because I doubt that Genos is aware that individuals like this exist as human beings, since energy manipulation and stuff like that is typically reserved for monsters and pretty powerful ones at that. But I don't think that he has a weapon. Like I said, this is just straight up energy manipulation, because I guess he's like drawing his energy together like in his forearm, like it's I don't know, like centralized there, and then he's just going to shoot like a blast or a beam out of his hand. I'm assuming that's what he's going to do here, or maybe he can just like charge up his limbs to become super like powerful from an energy standpoint, something like that, and then he can hit you with it and it becomes like a more lethal punch or something like that. But I'm going to assume that he was just going to straight up blast Genos here. Kind of like how Genos does with his own fire stuff, but this is probably at a much higher level, just taking a guess. And I also think that these two feats, or pseudo feats, are also giving us an explanation as to what's going on with Blast, because we've already established that Blue, we can see for ourselves, can move absurdly fast using this internal energy. And also, allegedly he can fire mega blasts from his arms or something, or beams or something. And I guess that shows as to how Blast was able to defeat the Ninja Leader. Because the Ninja Leader, obviously, the strongest ninja in history, according to legend, obviously moves super fast, just like Flashy Flash, maybe even faster than him. We'll never really know, I assume, but I mean, that just shows that Blast is in fact fast enough to keep up with somebody like that. I mean, he was able to defeat him after all, but this shows us how he's able to do it just using his internal energy ability that he does, and he moves similar to how Blue is moving here, but I'm sure that he moves way faster than Blue. Now, also, the whole laser eyes stuff, the classic Blast lore, I think this also kind of explains it, because we just said that, Blue can probably shoot beams or something from his hands, so why couldn't Blast just shoot the lasers from his eyes, Now, also, we were going back to, Blast being faster than Blue probably. Blue is 16, and Blast is, in his 40s or something probably. So he's had a lot more time to, harness these abilities and train and practice and everything. So he can probably do some crazy nuanced stuff that Blue isn't capable of doing. And it also kind of goes back to like the Esper stuff, like how Psychos and Tatsumaki were like using high level Esper stuff that apparently takes a lot of training and is nuanced. So it's probably similar to the world of energy manipulation as well. And also, just a little side note, this definitely gives us better insight into why Blast is called Blast. Now, I just thought originally that, it's because he could shoot his lasers from his eyes, but I mean, I guess this means that he could just do more than that. Because if Blue can shoot blasts, like we're just saying the word, he can blast lasers or energy from his arms, I'm sure that Blast can blast. And like crazy amounts at that. Like maybe like Millennium Emperor Nova level stuff, maybe Boros level stuff. And now that we're on Boros, let me mention that he's pretty important to all of this. And I'm sure a lot of you thought about him when we start talking about this energy manipulation stuff, because Boros was like, I guess, the first character to really show this type of abilities and powers and stuff like that in this series. I mean, at least as far as I know. I mean, Vaccine Man could throw energy spheres or light spheres, whatever you want to call them, but he didn't really have a moveset and ability base the way that Boros does. And it's extremely similar to Blue. And we'll go into that because Blue says, when he's like trying to catch Saitama, that he's going to have to remove the limiter on his suit in order to go fast enough to be able to catch up to Saitama or corner him or whatever he was going to do. And that's very similar to Boros, right? Because he was wearing the armor to hold in his energy. Because like after Saitama breaks it, he's like, the armor I used to seal all of my too powerful strength is now broken. And then he goes crazy, energy starts going everywhere, and he becomes the Boros that we know and love today. It could be something similar going on with Blue here, and this explains why he's wearing the suit and why, it puts a limit on his ability. Now let's go further, because we also have Meteoric Burst Boros, and that's essentially what he's doing when he's removing the limit on his power, and all of his internal energy is just going full force, and he becomes the craziest character that we've seen in the series outside of Saitama, because he says, using my latent energy as a booster to bring out power beyond the limit of living things. So it's possible that Blue has a similar type of transformation or ability. Like once Blue removes his suit, he might go into some kind of Meteoric Burst-esque form, and he's almost unstoppable at that point. And that also gives us some scary insight into Blast, because like I was talking about the age difference and experience and all of that stuff, it's possible that Blast is just always like Meteoric Burst form, and he doesn't need a suit to like hold his power back, because I'm just, assuming maybe he's trained more and now he's able to have more control of it than Blue. And also, it seems like Blast's suit that he has, like his hero suit, is just like, an aesthetic costume. It's not like serving a purpose the way that Blue's is. And we can assume that Blue definitely has some kind of outfit underneath his suit that he has on, because you can kind of see it at his ankles. It's like a black, like latex type material, I suppose. And also, this could explain the other excerpt about Blast in the data book about him having better fighting abilities than King, or whatever translation you have, because he can just become physically powerful as well using this internal energy manipulation, just like how Meteoric Burst Boros did, because he wasn't just fast and could shoot crazy lasers. He was like knocking away portions of a city, I guess, from the perspective that we could see with the force of his punches. So I guess Blast can do something similar to that if he really wants to. So yeah, Blast and Blue are ridiculously powerful just from a based ability aspect. So in case you were wondering, like, okay, what do they do? They're super fast, super strong, and they can shoot energy. Probably durable as well. And I don't know, maybe they even have more abilities than that. But that's all I can come up with for right now. Going to be doing a follow-up video on how powerful I think blue is right now. So look out for that. But if you like this one, please give it a like. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Do you think I figured it out, or did you figure it out? Let me know. And I also have a Patreon. Gives you access to a weekly Q&A. And if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.